2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
The best day of the weekend, or the long weekend, in terms of weather was Sunday.
Yes, it was.
It was warm, not too...
Nice warm day.
Yeah, the winds were good, so I headed over to Rottnest, which I've been doing as much as possible lately, getting a couple of freebies in. And
did the clockers high-five you as you turn up? Shaun, what's up?
The guy at the bakery has a smile because he knows he's going to get a couple of bucks come over the counter, Nat.
I just go to the East Frio Good Grocer because they're the same people.
Yeah, they are.
I bought Amy some hot cross buns.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Must have got my address, did you?
So you can get them yourself.
The only thing to do, not the only thing to do, when you go to Rottnest, it's rude not to go to the pub.
Oh, well, what else are you going to do?
Yeah,
What do you, hang on. What else do people do on there?
No, actually, no, you wouldn't believe. There's over 20 bays at Rottnest, so you can go for swims and sit in bays and have a snorkel around the place. You can ride your bikes.
I'm sorry, you've lost me. What?
Yeah.
No, but even if you do that, you always end up at the pub. It's the rule because it's the last stop before you get on the ferry.
100%. That's exactly what we were doing. We went there as the last stop and we were in there having a couple of beers. There was a group of guys that when I went up to the bar, started having a chat with, they just did a skydive, which is what I did 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, of course. So you bonded over jumping to your death.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, which you are until you put your parachute. Yeah.
One of the things about when you go there and you go out the back to the Rottnest Airport, which is just like a basic shed, is that generally they say you need to be there half an hour before you take off to do the flight. But the reality is,
they give you a briefing and stuff, and you won't be. It's obviously very safety conscious.
Very.
But there is a bit of waiting around because there's weather conditions to consider and all sorts of things.
100%. So you generally wait about an hour. So this guy was telling us how he was waiting out the back, and one thing that he always wanted to have a chat to is he was there with his boss and work friends.
During the jump. That's
doing the jump.
Yeah, okay.
One thing that he wanted to tackle was getting a pay rise.
He thought that whilst waiting to go skydiving was the right time to ask for a pay rise.
Well, he'd been wondering when the right time was, and he'd been wanting to do this, Do you walk into your boss's office? Where do you do it?
Do you do it during work hours, or do you do it on a long weekend in Rottnest while you're about to jump out of a plane?
Yeah, so he was sitting there for a while, and he started the conversation, he was telling me, by buttering his boss up by talking about the fact that they'd had a newborn, him and his missus, and that the cost of everything, expensive, blah, blah, blah. And he kept talking, and he got his boss to, think back to when he had kids, and he just drew him in.
Yes, it became an emotional conversation because of that, yes.
Then he asked, he thought it was the right time to ask for a pay rise, given that they were about to jump out of a plane together, and if you don't...
You don't want the bad karma of refusing a pay rise just before you jump out of a plane.
100%.
That was his tactic going in. His tactic. Is that the boss would want good juju, and so therefore, having just given an employee who's got a new baby a pay rise, he would be saved, and his parachute would definitely open.
100%.
That was the theory.
And when you think of that,
did it work?
It worked.
He got the pay rise.
He got a pay rise. He lured his boss in with that one. But the fact that, what are you going to say under those circumstances? He didn't know if that was going to be the right time, by the way, but it came to him in that you're waiting for so long, you start thinking about all those negative things. What happens if this is it? This could be it.
Yes. But also, like, you're asking for a pay rise, and then if they say no, then you're just sitting next to them for like standing there waiting, and then you're sitting in the plane while it goes up to the right height.
Yep.
That's just awkward if he said no. Like, it is a gamble, because if he said, oh, mate, we just don't have the money at the moment, then you're like, okay. And then you're stuck with them.
Yeah, but you
can't walk out of the office and leave.
No, but it's going to be on your boss's mind just as much. If he's going up and you're doing circles around Rotto, which is what happens, and you go higher and higher, and he's sitting there going, I'm about to jump out of this plane, I never granted now to pay rise. This could bite me in the ass real hard. You would be yelling out straight away, pay rise before you jump out.
All right, you
I got you. I don't care if we got no money. It's happening.
So his salary's doubled now, that guy, has it?
I just thought that was absolutely ingenious.
It's a bit, I would say that's an uncommon situation. Most people ask for a pay rise during work hours, for starters.
Yeah, they do.
And usually in the office. But you never know.
You got to get them at the right time.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought, in the last couple of years, if you're going for a pay rise, generally it's no. The company can't afford it.
Yeah, cost of living, everything, business is down, blah, blah, blah. We've heard it all before.
Yeah.
But, you know.
And heard it recently.
We want to know about pay rises. What was the perfect time to ask for one? Have you tried a sort of slightly unconventional approach to asking for a pay rise? Did you do it in a performative dance, for example?
See, that's a really good idea. A really good idea. Maybe you ask for one, you got them at the wrong time, because that can happen too. They're in a bad mood, something's happened, come from head office. No way are they bending.
Tanya's in Dianella. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Tan. Have you asked for a pay rise? What happened?
I haven't. I used ChatGPT to draw up a template for the conversation.
Okay, amazing. Talk us through it. How did it work?
So I put in ChatGPT my job description and all of the different project work I'd done throughout the year and why I felt I deserved a pay rise.
Yeah.
And then I asked it to address all of the different areas that I should talk about in the meeting asked for the pay rise. So it spoke about cost of living, and it spoke about recognising my work and all of the emotional connection to working and why, you know, money, that like the value of doing the work is justified. And then I asked it to ask all the questions that, like, responses, or if they said no, or if they gave me a negative response.
Yes.
And so I covered all the ground for their justification to say no.
Yeah, you worked them into a corner.
Yeah.
Because you had the answer for everything.
Yeah, so you preemptively had the answer to all of the questions they could possibly think of to ask, because ChatGPT told you what they were going to be.
Yeah, and then ChatGPT phrased how to start the conversation and how to end the conversation. So it touched on, you know, addressing their personal opinion and why, like my personal opinion on it. It was great. So now I have this template that I can now use every year because ChatGPT's drawn it up for me.
Amazing. That's using
really
technology to your advantage.
And Tanya, clearly it was a success, right? Transformers.
Yes,
there we go. That was Bumblebee right then.
Got to her. Thanks, Tanya. Ashley's in Midland. Hello.
Hi.
Hi,
Ash. We're talking about pay rises. What happened?
Yeah. So it's actually my husband that'll do this. So, like, he works for a small hospitality business. And so whenever we go on holiday, he knows that the owner will struggle a little bit to kind of manage things because he does quite a lot. He's a very efficient worker. So he'll wait to wear, like, on the back end of like a 6-week holiday, and then he'll ask for it. So the boss has just struggled for 6 weeks, and now he's like, you've got to give me more money if you want me to come back.
That's the secret. It's so that they appreciate the value of you. That's the way to do it.
Much. Yeah.
That is well played.
That is well played.
He's got value in his job. But on the other side, if you thought that was the right idea, your boss ends up doing your job while you're away and goes, this is easy. This guy's taking...
Don't worry about it. Like 3 or 4 times. So.
Wow. So basically,
he must be good, though.
Basically, he holds them to ransom when he's been on holidays and said, if you want me to come back, pay me more.
Yeah, he's very efficient.
Yeah, no, clearly he's very good at his job. All right, that's the secret. See, that's the secret, Sean. You have to be good at your job.
Oh, okay, that's where I'm going wrong.
It's screwed. Thanks, Ash.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Everybody's been asking me what I did on the weekend, and I did nothing except yesterday during the Oscars. I did all of my ironing. Luckily, the Oscars went forever, so I had plenty of opportunity to do my ironing. So just stood there in the lounge room ironing away. So I saw everything.
Okay.
Favourite dress was not a red carpet dress. It was the one that Ariana Grande wore when she performed at the beginning of the night, where the red dress when she and Cynthia did their little medley of tunes. Beautiful dress. That was gorgeous. Should have won that.
Well, they only won a couple of awards for Wicked.
I know.
But the big winner was Anora. And when I see a movie like this win all the awards, I go, that's a movie that I will not see.
Is it on principle? Because you know that it's
clearly crap. No, honestly, from a commercial point of view, which I'm a commercial watcher, I'm one who's going to watch the proper good movies.
The proper good movies like what?
Transformers.
Okay. That just gives you a bit of an idea. But luckily we've got a cinephile.
Anything Marvel.
Yes, allegedly.
Sam, a digital content creator, talk to us about Honora, because you said, I said no one's going to see this.
No one's going to see it.
It's a $6 million movie, so made on the smell of an oily rag, which is incredible.
It was so good. No special effects, no big budget, just like great characters, great story, really fun to watch. I rate my movies every time I watch them on this app called Letterboxd. Get on it if you're not using it.
Okay.
And it was my top rated film last year.
Stop it.
No joke.
So Mikey Madison won the Oscar, the Best Actress Oscar. Talk to us about how great she is.
Well, she's incredible. She's had a couple good run of movies. I can't name them right now off the top of my head, but she is quite young as well. I think she's only like 23.
Yeah.
And to be up against Demi Moore in that category, actually pretty incredible. So the other movie that was my highest rated was The Substance. Which was also up for Best Picture, and Demi Moore for Best Actor. And it was... I actually thought that she might have got it just because of her age and the movie, the message behind it. It kind of seemed like it was going to be going towards Demi, but for Mikey Madison to get it is pretty incredible.
A lot of the articles being written today are having someone read Demi Moore's lips after she never got the award, and her comment was nice, and it was more so like, nice.
Yeah.
Now,
or was she just being complimentary? Yeah. I mean, obviously people love a negative story.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting though, because like the whole story about The Substance was her getting replaced by a younger, hotter version of herself. So it was kind of like art imitating life a little bit.
To be fair, Mikey Madison does have Demi Moore, Demi Moore vibe.
Yes,
she's 25, Mikey Madison, so that's an incredible effort. Better Things is probably what she's best known for, which is a TV show. Yeah. Amazing. And like as she said, like she grew up in LA, but that whole movie world seemed a mile away from what her reality was, and so. That is pretty amazing to them.
And it's also a very raunchy role. It's a very horny movie.
Yeah, she's playing a sex worker, right? Yeah. So you would
maybe I'll have to come around. Do you reckon I'll do another run now that they've won all the Oscars?
Sean just got a little bit more interested. I did notice the other thing that a few people made comments like this was talking about how they want the studios to make movies for the big screen again, and that which seemed to be a bit of a niggle and a stab at your movies that are made for Netflix and Stan and the Substance being one of them, that they're saying don't disregard the cinema. Everybody needs to get back to the experience of going to the movies.
I got no doubt about that, but
like
do they want to put the money out there? Because the big cinema is the one who's got to front all the funds for it.
That's right.
And they're only willing to do that in a prequel or a sequel these days.
That's true.
Because they know the first one works, so we're going to get a guaranteed audience.
Yeah. All right. Well, we love the Oscars, right?
Honora.
Give
it a go.
Get onto it. I think it's still showing at Luna.
Okay, so if
Luna, local cinema.
Can I just say, like, if I'm going to watch a movie at Luna, it sounds to me like it's going to be deep.
Oh, that's what you're afraid of, isn't it?
Don't want to think, hey.
But also, Sean, sex workers, okay. Remember? He's back on board. He's so torn.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
The knees are getting creaky. So we were talking about just a little bit before. I have signed up to do what I signed up for was the 58 squats a day challenge, which is to raise money for the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
Awesome.
Amazing organisation. I'm doing it in memory of 3 of my friends who've passed away due to breast cancer, which is an extraordinary number. Like, really? That's crazy, isn't it?
It is, Nat.
Yeah.
I want to be friends with you.
I know. That's right, for your own good. So when I signed up, it did say, did you want to do 58 squats a day or did you want to double it or triple it? And I thought, because I'm doing it in memory of 3 friends, why don't I just triple it? Forgetting that I have knees that are creaky and groany and like kneecap issues that stop me from doing a hiking holiday just like not this Christmas just gone, but the Christmas before. So it's not that long ago. And that was a long rehab. Like I was doing water walking for what seemed like months. months. Me and all the old ladies down at Fremantle. They all had new knees, and I'm like, I'm still going on my old one. And so squats aren't the best activity for that. And so I'm doing 174 squats a day.
Okay, we have just collectively as a team this morning tried to help you out by jumping in. How many have you done?
We've done 60.
60, okay.
Which is good. That's a good solid
174.
Mm-hmm. So there's 3 times 58.
That's going to wear really thin on me by this afternoon if we're going to do this together for one day. You're doing for 31.
31 days, I know. And I have done, so far I have done every single one of them. And like I did switch yesterday, I switched to doing some sumo squats, slightly different angle, exercise different. It's still a squat, but it exercises like more, less your glute and more your inner thigh. But that also, then I went back to the regular ones because that was mean on my knees too. But,
we know that there are the benefits because you're going to have an ass like a cat.
Like you. You're going to have an ass like you, Sean. Renowned Big Butt McManus. That's what I'm baby got back. That's what I'm headed for.
Oh, but I don't know how you're going to go, surely.
My butt did disappear, so I'm hoping this will make it come back again.
Oh, it will. It will. But you're going to be that sore. You're going to be seeing a physio left, right and centre.
I know.
Your chiro's going to have to do work on your back.
Yes, all of it. All of it. Just I've got a month to get through but it's for a great cause. So then you go, but you do sign up for these things sometimes just on a bit of a whim, sometimes after a glass of wine and think, this is a great idea. And then the reality is you've got to do it. And it's like, like I've done October before, which is, like dry January, all the rest of it. So not drinking for a whole month. And that, it was easy for me. Like it wasn't that much of a challenge, but it was the dullest month of my life. I'll be honest. And that's a terrible thing to say. Yeah, no. Like one of my friends did say to me, "Oh, you're really boring when you don't drink." And then,
I get that all the time.
Since then, he has actually stopped drinking altogether. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, "Yeah, no, I get it." I'm like, I know I'm not as interesting as I used to be. But he makes up for it by driving us home.
The signing up thing and making that mistake. I know I've talked about the swimming until my noses bleed, right?
No. This is a great example of it.
I walked into Claremont Pool, and I remember the day. It was like a Wednesday. I walked in, and I walked past Kynwyn Roberts, who's owns the Port to Pub.
Yeah.
And Kynwyn's the most renowned.
Kynwyn is a sort of woman, and she's done this where she swims to Rottnest, does a tumble turn and swims back again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. She swam over and then around as well.
She swam around. Yep, she swam around. And I walked past her and just said, "G'day." We had a quick conversation. And then she was about to walk off and I said, "Kynwyn, I wouldn't mind having a chat to you about doing a Rotto solo."
Yeah, right.
That's what I said. And she just went, "Oh, that's fantastic."
Sign here.
By the time I'd walked from, I don't know, say the 25-metre mark of the pool to the top of it, the 50-metre line, to put my bag down, I was in a WhatsApp group of Rotto 2024 soloists. Welcome, Sean, to the group. I literally walked 25 metres and I was already part of a WhatsApp group of 70 people who were doing Rotto solos. Oh, my God. It was a nightmare.
And you are a bit like me in that if you make that commitment, there's no going back, is there? There was no, and I know everyone's like, oh, no one's going to know if you don't do the squats. It's like, no, but I'll know. I'll know.
Yeah.
And so I've done every single one of them so far, and I will continue to do every single one of them. And if my knees give out, I'll find another way, but I'll do something. There's no way I'm not doing it.
Well, sometimes you sign up to these things and they're a bad idea. Now, we want to hear from people who've had a go. They've signed up and they've gone, oh, my God. Maybe they got bullied into it somehow.
Yes, maybe your body gave out halfway through. Love to hear from you if that's the case.
Yeah. We want to hear those stories. I want to hear those stories.
Maybe you signed up for Dry July and then you made it to the first weekend and went, but I really want a glass of rosé.
But maybe you come out the other side. It's all about growth,
Oh, how positive.
Thank you.
And we want to know what you've signed up for and was it a great decision? Rachel's in Erskine. Hello.
Hello.
All right,
Hi,
Rach. We know you're a great person, Rach. What did you sign up for?
So me and a group of my friends decided it would be a really good idea to sign up for the Bloody Long Walk, which is like a 32-kilometre walk.
Yes.
From that starts in South Perth and ends in Cottesloe to raise money for mitochondria.
Oh, that's
amazing.
a great cause.
Okay.
That is a bloody long walk, hence the name, Rach.
It really was, and stupidly I was like, 100%, I've got this. We absolutely do not need to train. The rest of them did some training. Me, I was turned up on the day with a pair of trainers and my socks and was like, we got this.
Yeah, it's walking.
It was brutal.
How hard can it be?
Okay, talk us through. Well, when did it really kick in that you realised it was a bad idea?
I think we got to about the 10, 12K mark and we're like, oh, my God, we are not even close to halfway. By about the 17, 18K walk, we were like, what on earth? Like, we were hating on each other, like, whose stupid idea was this? Like, but then we all crossed the finish line. I think we did it in 8-ish hours or so, but it was...
That is a bloody long walk.
Oh, my God. It was, like, brutally hot, too. I think it was, like, 36 degrees that day or something ridiculous.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
We did it. We will never do it again.
Yeah.
Or actually, we might. Who knows? We say we won't.
That's the thing, isn't it?
We won't say no.
On that euphoria of actually finishing it, that's when you make bad decisions about whether you should do it again. And you're like, oh, no, it wasn't so bad. No, it was. It was. Remember what it was like at the 12K mark. That's what you need to tap into.
The blisters.
Yes.
The blisters were something else. Like, I am an assertive outreach worker, so I have to wear enclosed shoes to work, but I was out of action for about 10 days because the blisters, I actually couldn't put
What
shoes
about
on.
toenails? Did you get black toenails as well?
No, surprisingly, they were okay, but the blisters definitely took over my feet for sure. But it was, well worth it. But, we'll sign up for something else. We might stick to the high seas for a while, though. Yeah.
Did cost her 10 days, though, afterwards in recovery.
Yeah, but you got to factor that in, don't you? Thank you, Rachel. Jaden's in Mandurah. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, Jaden.
Good, Jaden. What did you sign up for?
Signed up for, my old boxing coach was doing the 100 sit-ups every day for a month for the cancer, and I decided that I'd join in with her, and I hit about the halfway mark, and I decided and started contemplating what have I gotten myself into. I did manage to get through it, but she was doing a different style of sit-ups every day.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I tell you what, my abs were killing me.
Yeah.
I bet they are. From the ab point of view, because everyone goes, abs, because everyone wants to have abs of steel and all the rest of it. That make me look good. So 100, you go, I can do that. I can do that. No problem at all. Did anything work against you when you were doing it? Did you get sore in your groins? Did you...
so it was more... I think after the first 10 days, your core is just that sore. It's just, you just got to fight through it, I guess. There was definitely times I didn't want to, but I thought, as you said, you got to hold yourself accountable, so you end up doing it.
Yeah, we're committed people, you and me, Jaden, just quietly.
Yes.
To our detriment.
You can't say you're going to do it and not do it.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Thanks, Jaden. Clive's in Alexander Heights. Morning, Clive.
Morning. How you doing?
Wonderful, Clive.
What did you sign up for?
Well, I was probably going back nearly 30 years to do the full Monty.
Okay.
Well, everybody, if you missed this...
Talk us through it. What happened?
Well, cut a long story short, I was working in the Cook Islands and the restaurant was turning 10 years old, so they decided to throw a party where they invited about 300 people.
Yes.
And even the Prime Minister was there, because there's only 10,000 on the island.
Yeah.
And people it was quite a nice restaurant. And anyway, we had a group of us. There was like 3 island lads that were all buff and, could play probably for the All Blacks if they qualified. And there was a bloke who did the... Lotto shop, and he was like a relic from the 1970s. He'd worn, long walk socks and sandals, but he's originally from the UK with sideburns, and he was there. And then there was a Dutch fella that was quite thin and scrawny, and he delivered the water around the island. So, and then there was me, and I was all right, but it was like 30 years ago, and so there was a woman who choreographed us a bit. She was an aerobics teacher. She'd come up from New Zealand for a few weeks. Yeah. So she did their choreography. We got some Cook Island moves in, which obviously the Cook Island boys were good at, but we looked stupid doing it. Yes. And then the songs, you had the hot chocolate and the Joe Cocker one. Yes. I got some hibiscus shorts made, red hibiscus shorts where you could rip them off. Yeah. And then I got willy warmers sent over from a lady I knew in Sydney, and there was a giraffe, a rabbit, an elephant, and all this sort of stuff. And it was It was brilliant, but before we went out, I could have easily walked out, but we had a few shots of whiskey, and anyway, it was one of the best things I'd done. I thought it was you can just imagine being on stage, you know, being an actor or actress and the whole crowd going mental. It was brilliant.
Well, I know it sounds all, you know, going back to the movie itself, the full Monty is that you go the full Monty at the end. So how did you go with that, Clive? Because that's the last
No, he had
part
his
of the
willy
show.
warmers on.
Well, there was, God's honest truth, because it was, you know, it was only in a restaurant, so you had people sitting, like, kneeling down at the front. They got pulled off.
Oh, so you did go the full Monty.
I mean, the willy warmers got pulled off.
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified that.
Sorry.
Hey, it's never too early.
So the crowd really loved it. Clive, thank you for that visual image that we can hold dear to our hearts. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Great, everybody. Well done. Commitment.
Yeah, that is commitment.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Blair Athol or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.